Hi everybody, welcome to our wolf spotlight. My name is Becca. I'm going to be giving our talk for today. Today our wolves are going to be getting some enrichment. They have some branches with some different smells on it and some apples. And what enrichment is just either an activity or a type of food or new smell that kind of help bring out those natural instincts that animals would have in the wild, because they do have a bit of a routine here, and so we want to kind of keep them on their toes a little bit, keep those brains working, and always making sure that they have something new and interesting to explore like they would in the wild.
They actually eat that off the log?
They would probably eat fruit if they found it. They're very adaptable. But they love apples. That's one of their favorite snacks. So we have 13 gray wolves here at the Greater Vancouver Zoo. We have our alphas. Our alpha, her name is Gigi, and contrary to popular belief, the alpha is not the most dominant or the most aggressive wolf. Alpha just means mom and dad. And so Gigi is the mom. She has 9 babies, and then we have 4 that are unrelated. So we have Hugo, Gigi, Raiden, and Chinook that are from a different facility, and they are unrelated from Gigi's 9 babies. And these are North American gray wolves, and gray wolves are, like I said, they're incredibly adaptable to different environments. So they have 38 subspecies. And what a subspecies is just a part of a species that is geographically isolated from the rest of them, which causes them to develop either different adaptations or different features to help them survive in a different environment. So a great example is the Arctic wolf. They are related to gray wolves. They're the same species, but they've developed enough differences in their diet, in their coat colors, and their size to be considered a subspecies. But they are still part of the same species. Gray wolves are typically very shy. Oh, guys, the bike has to stay on the paved path. You can't come on the gravel with the bike. Gray wolves are typically very shy in the wild. They'll often avoid conflict with humans if entirely possible. They'll actually try and avoid interaction with humans at all. And so they don't typically relate to that big bad wolf stigma that they often get in the media. They are incredibly intelligent animals. They're very socially intelligent. They have a very well-established hierarchy within their pack, and a pack is just a big family. And the hierarchy often goes up with age. So the older a pup is within the pack, the more seniority they have. Like our more senior members of the pack, so our 4-year-olds and our 3-year-olds are going to be higher up than our 2-year-olds. And you can see that in the way they interact with each other. Oftentimes you may see some nipping or some growling or some barking, or their head positions is a very good way to see how they communicate. The lower a wolf holds its head or its ears or its tail, the more submissive they are to the dominant wolf. So you may see a tail tucked between the legs. That is a submissive signal, whereas a tail upright and erect is a dominant signal. And wolves are very easy to read, and they're incredibly intelligent. And wolves are also what's known as a keystone predator or an apex predator, which means they are at the top of the food chain. They are what eat the herbivores. They keep everything in balance. They keep the herbivores from overgrazing their environment. And they help make sure everything maintains its balance within the ecosystem. And if you were to take away that keystone predator, that will often destroy the ecosystem because things will fall out of balance. And there is a real life example of this in Yellowstone population, which was declining at the time. And so they took away the elk's only natural predator in that environment, which was the wolf. And although the elk did increase, what also happened was they began to overgraze their environment. They destroyed many species of trees and other vegetation, which caused other species that are important to the environment to disappear from that ecosystem. And so Yellowstone kind of transformed from a beautiful forested area to kind of a barren grassland because the elk kept overgrazing. And in 1995, they decided to reintroduce wolves into Yellowstone to see what would happen. And within about 10 years, the ecosystem did a dramatic reverse. The trees started to come back, the vegetation and the species that had been taken away by elk came back, and it became this beautiful forest again. And that is all because the elk were now, their populations were now being monitored, they were being hunted. And so that is why wolves are incredibly important to their environment. Here in Canada, we have about 60,000 gray wolves in the wild. Most of them live up here in BC and up north in the Yukon. Some are also spread out across Alberta and Ontario as well. And so they are labeled as the least concern. We have a very healthy population. We're not too worried about them going extinct anytime soon. But in the U.S., it's a different story. They are considered endangered. They have about 3,000 gray wolves in all of the 50 states. They occupy about 12 of the 50 states when they used to occupy 48 of them. So unfortunately, they have been eradicated from most of their historical range. Which is very sad, but as a community of animal lovers, what we can do to help them is try and reverse that stigma that they get. So that would be not considering them to be big or bad or mean or aggressive, because they're usually not. They're usually very shy, very gentle creatures, very intelligent creatures. And so we want to try and spread that information and not spread the misinformation that they are aggressive. I hope you all enjoyed our wolf spotlight for today. My name was Becca. If you have any questions about our wolves or any other animal that you've seen today, please don't hesitate to ask.
Can't they climb and jump over?